If you missed it, our commander-in-chief, the Honorable Professor Pala Pala, in his infinite wisdom, made several changes to his ANC cabinet. He appointed this guy, Paul Masha Tila, as vice president. To be fair, what choice did he have? Masha Tila was elected as vice president of the ANC in December. He replaces David Mabuza, the gangster of Mpumalanga. I will not be surprised if Mabuza gets fingered by De Ruyter as the kingpin in the plundering of Eskom. But that is a story for another day. You will remember Masha Tila as the failed premier of Gauteng from 2008 to 2009. Masha Tila has frequently been identified as a leading member of the so-called Alex Mafia. In June 2006, Masha Tila, then finance MEC, caused a minor scandal when he spent 96,000 rand, charged to his government credit card, on a single dinner for government employees at an upmarket French restaurant in Sandton. This paves the way for Masha Tila to take over from CR as president, and I expect that to happen before the 2024 elections. Ramaphosa will resign, or be recalled before then, mark my words. The ANC will not unite more than 40% of the national vote behind them in the general election in 2024. Of that I am confident. This means that in order for all these ministers, old and new, not to be unemployed, and consequently unemployable by the end of next year, Masha Tila will have to get in bed with Juju and his gang of red berets to push them over 50% nationally, to form a coalition government. Then the tail will start wagging the dog. Juju will become vice president and, as is their way, the red berets will make demands that will finally sink this country and transform it to a pile of junk, faster than De Ruyter can leave the country. But that is actually good news, because after we endured more hardship for 5 years after the election, leaving the ANC-EFF coalition government to plunder what is left in the country, both parties will fall into obscurity and become rural insignificant players in the 2029 elections, if they survive that long. I am not afraid of this country becoming a police state. Remember what happened during the KZN riots and looting in 2021. Where was the police? Where was the defense force? Nowhere to be seen. The community stood together and protected their properties themselves. Private security in South Africa is more than 3 times the size of the armed forces. So, I am not scared of that happening. The long-awaited Minister of Electricity was also named at last. No, it's not Thomas Edison, probably the only person able to save Eskom. Sadly, he died very untimely in 1931. CR had to settle on this guy, Nkosi Enso Ramaphosa. Praetorians will remember him as the failed mayor of the capital from 2010 to 2016. He succeeded his aunt, Gwen Ramaphosa, at the time. It would seem the commander-in-chief has an unhealthy affection for people named Ramaphosa, as he also appointed Lydia Ramaphosa in the ministry responsible for planning, monitoring and evaluation. What the hell is that? Planning what? Monitoring what? Probably keeping book of what is being looted from the taxpayers until the ANC is booted out of government, hopefully and quite possibly in the 2024 elections, so the current horde of ministers can get some kind of golden handshake when they leave. Other interesting moves. Auntie Pat was demoted to become Minister of Tourism from Public Works. An indication that the ANC is also done with her. But the biggest surprise in the announcement of the reshuffle is probably that some hapless, hopeless, and frankly clueless ministers kept their jobs. At the top of this pile of dung must be the twat in the hat as Minister of Police. A failed Chief of Police and failed Deputy Minister of Agriculture must have compromising information, photos, or some hold on our commander-in-chief to keep his job. Come on, Becky, only 80 people murdered in South Africa per day, see if you can get it to 100, then you can lift your hat. Praveen Gordhan, who graduated from the University of Durban Westville with a Bachelor of Pharmacy degree in 1973, incredibly kept his position as Minister of Public Enterprises, a position he held since 2018 after a stint as Minister of Finance. Eskom, failed, SAA, failed, Transnet, failed, SA Express, failed, Denel, failed. But what did we expect from a failed pharmacist? Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma was moved from Minister of Cooperative Governance to Minister in the Presidency responsible for women, youth and persons with disabilities. NDZ, known for her comments during the COVID lockdowns, of, when people zol. They put saliva on the paper. when she was effectively running the country, is now under Cyril's nose so he can keep an eye on her. Well, that is when he is not at livestock auctions or hiding dollars in his mattress. And finally, Gwede Mantashe. How in heaven's name is this man still a minister? In May 2019, he became Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy during Zuma's presidency in 2019. Mantashe was a key figure in the project to shield President Zuma from accountability by closing ranks around him. In 2013, Mantashe maintained that Zuma's relationship with the Gupta family was not ANC business. As Secretary General of the ANC, he instructed members of parliament to always side with Zuma. The manifesto of the South African Communist Party, of which Mantashe served as chairperson, says that the means of life are concentrated in the hands of a small privileged class that obtains, by virtue of that economic supremacy, control of the entire state power. A communist in charge of minerals and energy, who now needs a minister of electricity to keep the lights on. I digress. Anyway, 1 new vice president, 4 new ministers, 2 new portfolios, several new deputy ministers, and you and I as taxpayers will fork out 75 million rand more per year on salaries for inept unqualified people to run this country into the ground. It seems Ramaphosa has given up and is just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic. So, remember next year, when you vote, vote Nota, none of the above. Let's get rid of all these clowns. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is free and you will be notified of new videos about our incompetent politicians. Thanks for watching.